up, finance fam? Welcome back to What's Next Wall Street. I'm Georgia Alfredas.
And I'm Dave Mathews. Now, this is a show where finance, tech, AI, and all those consumer trends collide into a delicious soup. And today, we've got some fire for you. By the way, Georgia, that means hot. And that's like, it's said as an emoji. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay, I didn't know. Thank you for the Gen Z talk. Hey, what's up with your voice? You trying to sound like me all raspy?
I want to be sexy and, just like have a little upper respiratory infection. I was just at Monterey Car Week and I met a bunch of people. I shook way too many hands. There was one guy there fist bumping. Remember when you would like elbow or fist bump?
I still do. I fist bump, dude.
Yeah, I should have. That guy that was fist bumping, I'm like, oh, cool. He's like an OG COVID dude. And then sure, I go home with the cold. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was fist bumping way before COVID because I have boys.
Really?
And they're nasty. They don't wash their hands like they're supposed to.
That's funny.
Yeah, I will never stop fist bumping. So anyway, y'all already know the drill. Hit us up at WNWshow@gmail.com or slide into our DMs on social media at What's Next Wall Street. And do not forget to catch all the action on YouTube at WNW Show. Just smash that subscribe button and tap the bell so you're in the loop when new episodes drop.
Boeing just hit pause on its 777X test flights after finding some damage during maintenance. What? The problem? A custom part needs replacing. No word yet on if this delay will cause delay to the plane's debut in 2025, cause a delay. That's easy for me to say with Robitussin head. But nearly 500 orders are already lined up. It's one to watch, though. Speaking of watching, their stock is $172 as we record this show.
Wow. Okay, listen. Get ready, money nerds. Say that 3 times fast. Jackson Hole is about to be lit with financial talk. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is set to drop some knowledge on interest rates at the annual Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. Now, his speech is a big deal for Wall Street and even the 2024 presidential campaigns, which will be paying very close attention. Now, Powell's been running the Fed since 2018 after getting the nod from Trump. Speaking of, Trump media stock is tanking harder than your ex's NFT collection, Dave.
Oh my God, that's funny. Did you write that for me?
I mean, kind of. Shares of the company behind Trump's Truth Social platform just hit a new low this week, sinking to $22.40, a drop from its previous record low in April. Trump media also reported losing over 16 million last quarter. Meanwhile, Trump is back to posting on X, formerly known as Twitter, of course, after chatting it up with Elon Musk, that is. He's like Cher now. We don't really have to say Elon Musk. We can say Musk or Elon. Yeah. Anyway, that didn't go real great either. So there's that.
30 minutes of tech delays. And, Elon supposedly has the best in the business working with him. But they're probably at SpaceX. That's where I'd be. Hey, big problems at GM and AT&T. General Motors is cutting more than 1,000 jobs, nearly 600 of them getting axed at its global technology center in Michigan. The company says the cuts are all about streamlining and boosting efficiency. By the way, I think that's the PR groups like they pull a lever and that one always pops up at the top.
And that comes up. I think it's AI. By the way, AI is taking all your jobs. But anyway.
Well, no, they don't. They can't say that yet because especially with a union shop, they just have to say boost efficiency. The unions understand that. Hey, rumor has it that the total number could reach over 1,500, though, making around 2% of its global salaried workforce. And this is from the CEO that said CarPlay isn't going to play in their cars. So who's building that technology stack, right? Remember, Rivian just got an influx of $1 billion from Volkswagen with a promise of $4 billion more. Why? Because of their expertise in its tech stack. Meanwhile, another company, AT&T, says over 17,000 workers across the Southeast are still on strike, calling out the company for what they're saying is some shady behavior. What? A near government monopoly having shady behavior? That's weird.
Say it ain't so.
How could that happen? They're calling out the company. Workers are repped by the Communication Workers of America Union. They're accusing AT&T of playing dirty in contract talks by sending negotiators without any real power to make deals. Oh, they put the no men or women in place to do the contract. No, we don't do that. But the standoff continues.
Okay. Well, Republican lawmakers in California are pushing back on Governor Gavin Newsom's electric vehicle plans after a Tesla semi went up in flames. Now, this truck crashed into some trees in Placer County, causing a battery fire that led to toxic fumes and a freeway shutdown. Now, GOP reps are urging Newsom to hit pause on the mandate that requires all big rigs to go electric by 2045. Their vibe, maybe slow down until these trucks stop exploding. So,
yeah, and this, when I was driving out to Monterey, you're on these twisty little mountain roads, and when you saw this truck on the side of the road, it's exactly this. It's a little 2-lane road, divided highway, and they're fun to race on if you've got an old Porsche, but a semi, this thing was off in the woods, and the batteries, since it's a chemical fire, they don't stop. You can't put water on them. The only way you can do is put these in like an envelope. And because the semi has like, I don't know what the number is, but say it's 3 or 4 times more batteries than like a Tesla automobile, this chemical fire just burns forever. And the fire department doesn't have a procedure for trucks. They know how to put out car fires with their electric.
Because it's all new. It's
all
new
they just
for
put
this
an envelope
whole
around
electric. Yeah.
Exactly.
So listen, you're talking about how fun it is to drive on those wavy roads in a Porsche. Yeah. I want you doing that, Dave. I'm going to be your mom right here because remember the guy, Paul, I can't think of his name. Please don't get upset with me. He died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was in a 2005 Porsche supercar. And the problem was he was in a car. His friend was driving it and the tires were 10 years old. And tires lose their stickiness or their elasticity as rubber gets old. So it's just like you're driving on glass. And he just did it in where was he? He was down by Six Flags in LA, and he hit a tree in a medium, and the car split in half. So he wasn't on a twisty road. And my tires, they're just a few months old. And meanwhile, I'm not in a supercar. I'm in an old car, so I'm not pushing it that much. But hey, speaking about cars, Waymo is in the doghouse for cars that just won't shut up. Now, this is so funny. There's an Instagram channel for this and a YouTube channel for this. For the last 3 weeks, the self-driving Waymo cars have been blasting their horns in a San Francisco parking lot at night. And meanwhile, these cars get parked on the top lot of a parking lot because they're not paying the premium. They just sit outside and they keep the whole neighborhood awake. One fed-up neighbor started a live stream to document the madness. The YouTube channel is pretty hilarious with these stupid robot cars backing into one another, but not crashing. They're only creating gridlock because they're so smart. A Waymo exec jumped on the chat yesterday because it's like a YouTube live channel to explain that it's a safety feature so the cars don't bump into each other. But they're like honking at each other because they don't know they're robots. Like the whole idea with self-driving cars is they should have some communication channel, some peer-to-peer messaging platform. Like, I don't know, New Air. That's a great one. NEWAER.com for those of you scoring at home. But anyway, that's a humble plug for one of my companies. But this is hilarious because they've tried updating the software twice, but clearly these cars still have something to say, and it's with their horns, not with... I think, to me, the software needs to understand that FIFO model of programming, the first cars in become the first cars out to clear the way for the other digital chassis trying to leave the physical space.
This is like speaking Greek to me. I don't even understand it. That is hilarious.
You saw the video though, right?
Yes.
So
what in the world? It's hilarious.
They're cute little buggers.
All right. So Dave, gold is shining brighter with prices nearing $2,500 an ounce. Analysts think it could break records in 2025 thanks to uncertainty around the U.S. election. Now, global conflicts, potential Fed rate cuts, all the things. Citibank even predicts it might hit 3,000 next year as investors flock to this safe haven asset. So we'll see what happens.
You know what, though? That means my gold bars, they're worth $1 million now.
Yeah.
How much
you
does
have gold bars?
Have a couple
You're
bars?
rich. I don't know.
I bet he's got like 3 or 4 bars.
He doesn't let me in the safe. I don't even know how to get in there.
You don't even know what's in there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's
in
there.
Well, a judge just hit pause on the FTC's plan to ban non-compete arguments, which stop employees from jumping ship to competitors. The ban was supposed to drop next month, but big business groups freaked out and sued, saying it would mess with talent retention. The judge in Texas agreed and blocked it. You know, Texas, they'll block anything. I love it.
Yeah.
The FTC is not backing down, though, and might appeal. So stay tuned for more legal drama there.
I hope that they do because it's so unfair. And this is really, I know it's for all businesses, but especially if you're in radio or TV, you know, you work for a company, they let you go, but then they're like, oh, we don't want you, but you can't work anywhere else for 6 months. Like it's so, and sometimes it can be a year. And
it sounds like
so
that might be
unfair.
close to home for you.
I mean, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah.
Big moves for the Caller Daddy podcast. Listen, I think we need to go more X-rated, Dave, because SiriusXM is dropping a reported $100 million to snag exclusive rights to the raunchy, no-filter show that's been dishing out spicy advice to women. Already, it's the #2 podcast on Spotify, and it's about to become even bigger next year when Sirius takes over all advertising and distribution. So it looks like Alex Cooper's Girl Talk is cashing in, and I'm here for it. Dave, take off your clothes, man. Let's get this dough.
That's not going to work for me. Look, you're the real talent here. I'm just the nerd. Here's what we're going to do. We need to boost YouTube views. I want everybody to go to youtube.com/@what's WNW show @WNW show. And we're just going to have a camera on Georgia's feet.
Ew. Yeah, I know it's popular. Do you know that I've seen my feet on these channels and I'm like, what's wrong with you people? I didn't even have a pedicure in them. Yes, I have. So, my coworkers have taken pictures of me because I've always taken my shoes are off right now while I'm at home.
Yeah.
But I take my shoes off and my coworkers are like, oh, look, she's got her shoes off. And then someone says like, hey, they got your feet on this website. And I'm like, you cuckoos.
Oh my gosh, that's so creepy.
I guess it's a thing.
All
now
right.
listen, how much can we make from it? Because I'm willing to go naked on my feet.
You just keep those mom Crocs on or whatever you wear around the house.
Okay, today's pro tip is brought to you by optionsplayers.com. Want to level up your trading game? A strong foundation and solid support are crucial for trading success, and optionsplayers.com has got you covered. With Options Players, you'll get access to the most comprehensive platform and trading community with all the tools, tips, and squad vibes you need to build a rock-solid trading foundation and keep stacking those wins. With real-time market analysis and expert guidance, trading with confidence has never been easier. Let's stack some gains and go get this bread. Go to optionsplayers.com today.
All right, squad, this is where we get to hear from you. Drop us a line on social media at What's Next Wall Street. Comment on our YouTube videos. We love that. Or shoot us an email, WNWshow@gmail, DOTCOM. Except don't type DOT. Just put like a period. That's probably better. Kelv777. I wonder if that's degrees Kelvin from OP Chat, Options Players Chat. Holler. He asks, will gold catch investors' imagination? Doesn't seem to, even though it's at record highs. Greg, can you help Kelv out on this?
Will gold catch investors' imagination? I think it has. I mean, it was flat from 2020 or 2021 till now, the beginning of this year. It was pretty much flat at 2,000. Strong dollar made it hard for it to really go up and things like that. But now it's up to 25 something. So it's up 25% just this year. And that's a very good trade. But let's really just discuss what it is. It's just how people are today. Almost everyone that comes to me to want to learn to trade or anything like that, they want microwavable trading. And we'll get into this and why it's a problem all around, because it's not just in investing, it's everything, right? But it is done well. But when I mean microwave, you want it now. Someone comes in and they have $5,000, like, where should I put my money? My normal thing is go put it in a savings account and get a job and make more money, but no, that's not what they want. They want me to somehow magically turn their $5,000 into $1 million. That's just what 99% of people want. And it sounds great that you want to do that. You just got to understand that is not going to happen. Okay. But that's how it is. People invest. They want that Bitcoin return. They want to put in $1 and then get 50 out in 5 months. That's just not how investing works. So asking investors' imagination, it has all the investors' imagination. What it doesn't have the imagination is social media, wherever you're getting your news from. Nobody cares, right? Because it doesn't sell, because it's not this bright and shiny. I know that's a pun on gold there, right? Because it is bright and shiny. But everything else, it's just not that cool thing. It's not got the potential to go from 2,000 to 50,000. So nobody cares. It's not going to sell news. Therefore, you're not going to find out about it. It's a great way to hedge your bet with AI and everything else. Gold is not making any more of it. They're digging it up, but and you need it for every part of your electronics and things like that. Precious metals are huge. So, I mean, it's there. If you want a good hedge against your dollar or inflation, you probably should have put it in gold or something like that, but stayed pretty well. But if you also count the inflation we had and gold stayed stable, we kind of went down there, but it is what it is. So,
All right, thank you for that, Greg. Finner from OP Chat asked, wait, Finner is like a P1. What's up, Finner, with Options Players Chat? All right. So Finner wants to know, with a potential lowering in interest rates, what stocks in particular have historically done well when rates were cut? Greg, what's your take?
What stocks or sectors or whatever do well when rates are cut? Well, this is a hard one, right? Because if we really go back and we look, rates get cut when things start to go bad. So normally things are already at its worst, and then it's recovery time when rates are cut. So it's hard to actually say this, and people are going to look back and they're going to do their studies and say, hey, these do really well. Well, everything does well when you cut the legs off of it. There's nowhere to go but up, right? So this is in the past. We have a recession. We cut the rates. It's already going down. So of course, everything is doing good. So it's really hard one to look at. Now we can look at what lowering interest rate actually does, which makes borrowing cheaper. Might not help you much, but it lowers the weighted average cost of capital. So basically, how much it costs a company to go out and borrow money, that through bonds or whatever. All right. So that debt that they're putting on costs less, which helps companies. Now, to me, who does that help the most? It helps large stocks. Now, people are probably going, there is going to help small stocks because look at this historical fact. No. What it's going to do is allow everyone really cheap money, but allowing everyone real cheap money, your small stock might be able to borrow a little bit, but this big, massive company is going to borrow billions and billions and billions and billions more, and then just shut that small company out. So, yeah. But historically, if you want to actually go through it and look, it is like very good growth stocks with dividends and things like that. They both do very well. And of course, anything with housing, your REITs and things like that are going to be killing it, because that's probably what you're looking at is what we want to talk about is what really affects housing market, right? So as interest rates go down, that's really the only thing that we as normal retail investors or whatnot actually see is on our mortgages. So that's it. So you get cheaper mortgages, so you see higher prices in housing, more houses being sold, things like that. That's the normal come around. So that's really the only advice I can give on that. Other than that, we have never really seen this. We're up and we raised our rates just to raise them, because of, for inflation. And now, but the economy is supposedly doing good, and now we want to curve it down. I don't know about how well the economy is doing, and y'all know my outlook on interest rates. I believe we're probably where we should be. There's no reason to lower them. We just have this artificial thing of making, borrowing cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. If you go look at the chart, it's just a straight down. I would never loan anyone money for a year. I'll give a friend money, right? But I'm not going to loan some random person money and say, hey, at the end of the year, give me back 2%. No, I need some money in the game, right? It's not even worth it. So I think that could be an issue all around. I don't want to lower rates, but I know they're going to do it. It's political. They'll lower rates. And like I've already said, we're not dropping inflation right now. The numbers are the same as they were last year. So numbers went slightly like this, and then they went up a little bit in spring, and now they came down back to where they were last time. 3% is where we were last year. So, we're right there. And to say, oh, we're at 2.9 now. Okay, in 10 years, we can finally be at 2. Wow, good job. So, do I really think it's there? Do I think the Fed is doing? You already know what I think about government employees. I make more money than all of them sitting at the stupid desk right here. So someone knows what they're doing, and a bunch of people just get paid for the government. There we go.
Okay, big thanks to Greg for the hookup. If you've got questions, we got answers. Well, Greg might have them. So email him at greg@optionsplayers.com. And do not be shy. Hit us up at WNWshow@gmail.com or slide into our DMs at What's Next Wall Street. You can even drop your questions in the YouTube comments. So do that too.
All right, JP of Bid Nerds, what the heck is up? We were hanging out last week in Monterey. I might have gotten a little cold from that. I don't know. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good back here in Vegas. It's hot, as always. Yeah. So there it is. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, so you had me on your show, Bid Nerds, which if you're a car nerd, you got to check this out. JP and his buddy Deebs is checking out all the prices of cars. And look, there's no better way, in my opinion, to launder money. Or, I'm sorry, did I say that? I meant invest in the automotive circuit. So, JP, tell us about Bid Nerds and what's going on in the market now for automotive.
Well, yeah. Bid Nerds is a YouTube channel where we analyze listings on Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, P-Car Market, all the enthusiast automotive auction sites. Not only do we analyze the listings, but we make predictions. And it's a live show. We go on twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. And we always put our money where our mouth is, or our foot where our mouth is. We start off every episode by reconciling our poor predictions from the previous episode. So it's kind of like The Price is Right for cars on Bring a Trailer.
And I got to say, you had me on one Sunday night, and I did pretty good. I was 1 for 3.
You did, yeah. Yeah, man.
So, so we were talking about, in this case, the car that I really scored on was this really weird Volvo. It was a Vigan edition, which is their essentially their McLaren or their high-end.
The Saab, right? Yeah, the Saab. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's right. It was the Saab. It wasn't the Volvo. Yeah, exactly. Yet again, such an esoteric, weird car. But what's going on? We just had a bunch of auctions that were happening in Monterey for Car Week. I was watching a wide body 491. It was a beautiful blue car. The estimate was to go for like 300,000, and I'll be damned if it hit it. A wide body Targa 491 hit over 300K, and it had a repainted rear quarter. So it seems like the ones that I was watching, they didn't really get hit too hard with interest rates are high and uncertainty of an election year. So what are you seeing in the automotive market these days?
Yeah, a lot of volatility. Obviously, a couple of years ago when there was so much excess liquidity in the market, people were going crazy. Classic and enthusiast cars became an asset class on their own. They were always kind of existed there, but somewhere below numismatic coins and art, way down here was like classic cars. And suddenly when everybody had money for a couple of years, used cars wound up becoming an asset class to a certain extent. So everyone was looking for ways to speculate on anything. And classic cars is just one of those things that a lot of people happen to know about, or at least a certain type of people know a lot about. And they're like, well, I've got extra money. I can only put so much in the stock market. I'm going to diversify my portfolio a little bit. I'm going to buy that 911 I wanted when I was 20 something years old and couldn't afford.
Yeah.
And that's always what's driven the classic car market is guys in their 40s to almost 60s who finally are in their earning years, and they look back at what they wanted when they were younger and couldn't afford it. If you were in high school or college, if you're in your 50s now, that means you were in high school or college in the 90s. And so you wanted that Porsche 964, you wanted that Lamborghini Countach, you wanted that car that was on your wall when you were a kid, and you get to your 50s, your kids are out of college, your house is maybe paid off, you're in this crazy dumpster fire of an economy where they're just pouring money into everything, and now all of a sudden you have enough money, so you go out there on Bring a Trailer and you see if you can find that car that you wanted when you were young.
Yeah,
recapture that
you just reminded me, that poster on my college wall, I think it said justification for higher education, and it was a Porsche, a Lamborghini, and a Ferrari and with a big house
And a
in the
944, oddly enough, for the car nerds.
Exactly.
I remember that poster.
But those lipstick red 911s, they did not age well. That's called Guards Red for those of you collectors. But it seems like the blues and the greens are the ones that are getting all the love these days, which is lucky for me. I've got 2 of those blue ones. But how did Monterey Car Week go? What'd you track?
Well, I got to admit, I wasn't paying super close attention to the live auctions, the in-person auctions. Those are always kind of an anomaly because they're different dynamic. People come in from all over the world, mostly people with a lot of money. They are there to have a good time. They're drinking. There's a physical party aspect to those properties, the way they set them up. It's a lot of fun. And there's people there that are handing you drinks and trying to get you to bid. From what I've heard, though, it was not a good year. And in fact, Michael Deeb is going to be on our live show tonight to talk about his report from what happened from the live auctions. He actually works for Hagerty, and so he's getting a lot of data. From what I understand, some of the auction houses had as low as a sub 20% sell-through rate, which is basically a disaster. But at the same time, there were other high mark cars. Like there was a Ferrari F50 that sold for $5.5 million. That was a high watermark, and we've never seen one go for that much. So there are anomalies for those really perfect, excellent condition, super high sought after exotic cars. The sultans of Brunei and the the crypto billionaires or whoever, those guys don't really care what's going on in the economy. But everything else, all the more pedestrian stuff, I think is suffering pretty bad.
Yeah, I ended up at the after party for the hotel that was at the RM Sotheby's auction. And I got to tell you, I met the Princess of Monaco. And boy, is she cute. I don't think if I even showed up on her radar. Some of these guys were wearing watches that had like 38 carats of bling on them. So, yeah, she wasn't paying any attention to me. Let's just be honest about that. But there were some really cool cars there. And those super rare ones, like I saw 2 Gullwing 300 SLs. I saw a preservation class Speedster with the original, like the patina, non-repainted 57 Speedster. A couple SL convertibles, which don't have the panache as the Gullwing, but still just like beautiful works of art from the 1950s. So there's a lot of cool juice there. But hey, this for me as a car guy, I'm always going to have something crusty in the garage. What I'm worried about though, JP, is what if fuel is banned? We don't have synthetic fuels yet. I know United Airlines and a bunch of the airlines are trying to work on this because batteries in the sky just do not work. You have to carry what's called dead weight around when the plane's flying and the batteries are discharged. You're still carrying all that lithium and all those chemicals, right? So there are e-fuels. Porsche is working on e-fuels. Are you worried about our market going away because of dinosaur juice being illegal?
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk said, I don't know how many years ago it was, but he said in 20 years, owning a car will be like owning a horse today. It's something that will be relegated to the rich enthusiasts that can still afford it out on racetracks or, on a ranch somewhere. That is definitely the current political climate. Whether it doesn't really matter which side of the spectrum you're on, it seems like the overwhelming pressure is to eventually move the automotive market from internal combustion to eventually EV. We've seen the market of EVs really take a hit right now, but that's because gasoline is relatively inexpensive. Everyone's talking about inflation and all kinds of forces on the market right now, but if you consider gas prices right now hovering in that $6 range, depending on what part of the country you're at, maybe a little less. For gas prices to be as high as they were after the collapse in 2008, in real dollars, adjusted for inflation, gas prices would have to be $12 a gallon.
Wow.
So gas prices people complain about, but they've been artificially lowered, and I think there's a lot of kind of artificial pressure going on in the market right now. Currently, obviously, we're going into the election. There's probably going to be a rate cut coming here fairly soon, and that's because the current administration, that ticket, it does not want to have the economy looking like it's getting bad or worse. And let's face it, American investors and consumers operate on perception and emotion far more than they do reality.
That's right.
So they're going to do everything they can to try to prop it up. The question is so there might be a short-term rip. I don't know. We woke up this morning hearing now that there's a proposal on the table, whether you believe this is going to happen or not, but there's one party that's banding about the idea of taxing unrealized gains in certain market classes. So, if stocks and mutual funds and I don't know, real estate, what asset classes are they talking about? I haven't gotten into it deeply, but automobiles might be one of those hedges because certain regulators don't consider classic cars as an asset class. So maybe that's a place to hedge the market for a little while. I don't know.
That's true, and you can't drive your gold bar around. Gold bars are hovering at $1 million as we record this show. And look, I'd rather breathe in the fresh country air and a little bit of non-catalytic converter exhaust. Which, if you're in California, 1974 and older, Vegas doesn't care about any smog, do they? You can just
we do have our smog restrictions are actually worse than California, if you can believe it. Our cutoff for classics is 82. In California, you have 76. So if you have a 76 and older car, you can register it without getting smog. But here, the cap is 82. So I think there's going to be a resurgence in EV cars, kind of back to that thing. I think at some point, they're going to stop pushing the prices of gasoline down there. Right now you've got the strategic reserve or whatever being utilized to keep the excess.
That's such a BS number, though. It's only so many million barrels. I think what's really making the difference is fracking, being able to they can take these drill bits and go down sideways, left, right, steer them around, and then just pump a bunch of salt water in the ground, and then magically dinosaur juice comes out. So, boom. Well, cool. Yeah. Thanks for stepping into our show. Thanks for having me as a guest on yours. Bid Nerds, you can find it at youtube.com/@bid, NERDS. And looking forward to catching up on your show later. And maybe I can jump on again and we can stump the chump.
For sure. Thanks for having me on, Dave.
All right. Thanks, JB.
All right, Dave. So female spending is a powerful force. You probably didn't need me to tell you that. And I'm not just saying that because we are the primary spenders in our households. Now, whether it's household goods or where I can convince my husband to go on vacay, I am usually the one with the big ideas, as my husband likes to say. But honestly, when women open their wallets, they spend. We spend. So I want to talk about how that affects the stock market. Think about how Swifties gave stores like Michael's a huge bump when she made friendship bracelets cool again. I mean, I'm talking about a 300% jump in sales of beads and jewelry and a 500% increase in Pennsylvania when she performed in Philly and Pittsburgh. We won't even get into ticket increases in merchandising for the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? Taylor was the first person to have a tour past the $1 billion mark. Now, Beyoncé followed, single-handedly raising inflation in Switzerland. And thanks to Beyoncé asking fans to wear silver, small businesses on Etsy that sell silver, chrome, and sequins saw their sales skyrocket. Barbie is still Warner Brothers' biggest theatrical film ever, and women painted the town pink. You couldn't find one pink item in stores when that movie was out. One paint company, Dave, even sold out of its hot pink shade after it was used up for the Barbie land set in that movie. I even got Barbies, black ones, Dave, with hair like mine, which coincidentally I had never had as a girl because they didn't make them. And I mean, I was playing with Barbie. I had blonde, blue-eyed. Yeah, I had blonde, blue-eyed Barbies, even though...
No, I mean black with blonde, curly little ringlets.
It was like, this is not how we look. Like, I didn't have good... And I was playing with Barbies in the 80s. Like, dang, come on. Am I that old? Anyway, so here's my thing. If you have kids, nieces, female friends, whatever, they can hip you to the next big thing. What are they into? Think about it. Try to find out. Here are a few things I'm looking into because I'm into it and I see other moms and women getting into it. YouTubers' products, backpacks, chocolates, clothing, etc. Listen, Dave, I spent $200 on a backpack for my little because, well, he was using a 10-year-old hand-me-down from his brother, and I was shamed into it by some of my best mom friends, but also because he's into it and it shut him up for 30 seconds. So there's that, but I digress. But also, all things pickleball and golf. female golfers are killing it these days. And there are more little girls in my son's golf lessons than boys. Another thing I'm predicting, natural, cruel-free, and even organic makeup, skincare, and sunscreen. Now, that's always been a thing. But now, because of social media, people are like, I want edible if I want to be able to eat my sunscreen. And now there's all the big to-do about, sunscreen causing cancer when it's supposed to keep you from getting cancer. So, and us women of a certain age, around 30, we aren't trying to look like Kardashians. No shade. I'm just saying we want to protect our skin and look good while doing it. So, Dave, the point is your best market indicator might be sitting right in front of you at the kitchen table asking for her favorite YouTuber's cereal. So that's where I'm going with that.
That's interesting. Yeah, Mr. Beast, he's getting a lot of flack these days, and he's got the chocolate, but all his old employees are going against him. I just pulled up my backpack. I've got a Targus here. I used to use a Patagonia. Patagonia went all over the world with me. That zipper never blew out. The Targus, I'm already on my second bag because the zipper blew out.
Yeah, but my son uses my old Patagonia for college. He took it home. He took it to college with him, and I was like, I hated to see it go, but that was cool to have hand me down. But my little's like, Mom, I don't want my backpack to say Jared. I'm like, what? That's your big brother. That's cool. But, whatever. It is what it is. So, all
right. Well, hey, look, follow trends. And if the littles are doing it, then they're probably going to be other people who will do it upstream. I don't know how many Crocs your kids have over there, but
oh my gosh, I have Crocs. I love my Crocs. Like I started wearing Crocs because they were wearing Crocs. Even though I wore them first, they made them cool. So
to me, that's just when you've given up. I don't own any. Hey,
I have.
If you've got questions, we're here to help you out. I don't mean to throw shame on Georgia, but I just did.
You just did.
We want to hear from you. Hit us up, WNWshow@gmail.com, or slide into those DMs. We love that, especially Georgia does. At What's Next Wall Street on the social channels.
You can catch all our episodes on YouTube at WNW Show. Just type it in on the search bar. Or if you're more of a listener, find us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever your vibe is with your podcast. Listen, make us, what is it, GoDaddy? What's the cool number 2 podcast? Make us call her daddy. We want to be that for you.
Yeah, but we're not going to show you Georgia's feet.
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe button and share the show with a friend. That's the only way we grow. We don't spend nada zero on marketing for this show. So if you learned something cool on the show, send it to your friend. Every social or every podcast app has a little button to share. Give us a review if you can as well. Those are always helpful to help bubble us up to the top. Yeah. I'm Dave Mathews, very sick Dave Mathews from Monterey Car Week.
Look at you. You're a trooper. Yeah. All right, I'm George Alfredas. We will catch you next time on What's Next Wall Street.
Bye.
Bye.